I brought the mask as a symbol, not as a disruption, to show you that many of us understand that we can no longer sustain the failing and flailing leadership we're seeing now across all sectors. No creature in the world eats money. We cannot eat that money, ladies and gentlemen. And I don't know of one that does. Even billy goats don't eat them dollar bills.
Well, it's very obvious to me that there's a very corrupt relationship between you and Nevada Energy. The citizens of this community need to be represented by a credible utility commission, and you're not it. In the last 9.5 years, our rates have doubled in this city. We are in an economic depression right now with a monopoly providing our utilities. In the last 3 years, you have continued to allow them to raise their rates. I just want to hear in clear English before I leave today, though, what the rate increase is, in clear, simple English. I know the game you guys play constantly is confusion and complication.
Good morning. My name is Christopher Towsey. I am a resident of Clark County. I would just like to say at this time in this economy, the citizens of Nevada are unable to shoulder the burden of any additional increase in energy costs. We are unemployed, underemployed, and we are hurting. Please do not let this happen. Thank you.
There is a point here to the fact how much is enough. How much is enough? We are all struggling. We don't need any more rate increases. There's nothing, how much more money does Nevada Energy need? I would hope you will definitely consider how much this community is struggling. We are #1 in foreclosures. We are #1 in unemployment. How much more money needs to come out of our pocket every month?
Just a quick question. How much does Michael Yakira make a year?
Well, I think that is a question we probably should answer after the agenda. Thank you very much.
I think it's around $4 or $5 million a year.
Point of inquiry.
Mr. Kendall?
Thank you very much. I read where you have a testimony following your hearing in public testimony. And I compliment you on that because it gives some of us time to reflect on your statements that might be inappropriate or wrong. How long do you expect your hearing to go on before you'll have a closing public comment period again here today?
Well, it sort of depends on how much discussion there is at the agenda.
I can't hear you.
It really depends on how much discussion there is at the agenda.
Do you have a projected time frame or anything like that?
I would say probably about an hour.
Super. Thank you very much.
Yes.
Are you aware of how Nevada Energy cut pensions to a lot of the retirees in the last few years? People that worked for them for 20, 25 years? And they cut their pensions, cut their health insurance policy? Is it better if I sit over there and do it? I only talk for 3 minutes.
This is actually time for public comment, not necessarily question and answer session, but certainly if you have some specific questions and answers, I would glad to meet with you afterwards.
You should take the ethics of this corporation into consideration also. When you add more profit to them.
So I think I can support the 4%, and I have concerns about the 5%.
All right, then. I will retract my proposal for 5% and go with 4%.
Okay. It looks like the end of everybody's proposed comments. I can take a stab at a motion unless there's anything else that you guys want to.
Yeah, I'll start with Commissioner Nolan.
I have nothing more.
I have nothing more. So motion.
And before that, we've been going through correcting the typos and edits, but if you have anything additional, we're open and welcome to that, aren't we, Mr. Pena? Even though we've scanned this a million times. Okay, so I move.
Question.
Sorry, we're in the middle of deliberation. You'll have an opportunity of public comment, sir. Let's see.
I was just wondering, what effect does that 4%
I move
have
that
a rate.
the commission, let's back up. We had two stipulations.
Did you raise the rates today?
Yes.
By how much? In simple English that the common citizen can understand, please.
As I stated, it's a complex model. Okay, so each paragraph that in the discussion of findings in the order, because I assume you looked at the order, it sounds like you have, it goes into a model to calculate the increase in rates. The overall system increase, I don't know the exact amount, but I'm saying around 7%. Then you asked about the 4% is on top of that. So roughly 10, 11% for residential customers based on the calculations we have right now. Now that will change. I can guarantee you the mere fact that I'm saying that right now is going to be wrong because that's just my luck. But NV Energy will calculate through their model and our staff will verify those calculations and we should have a trued up, accurate amount within the next few days.
And some of those calculations will change based on the original order because I made a further disallowance that that modification was accepted. So some of this is a little bit difficult to give you the exact number.
And I recognize that it's frustrating. I'm frustrated in that I can't know exactly myself, but we did have another modification today so that it goes through a whole string of components that it changes things up, balances here, reduces here. So I don't mean to not provide you with accurate information. I just don't have it to provide you, so I can just give you a ballpark.
Do you think this is fair to the citizens of Las Vegas to increase during the economic depression that we're in right now, to raise the rates 10 to 11%? Is that fair?
I have to defer to my order. I can't respond to your questions.
I mean, you think you did a good job representing the citizens of Las Vegas today?
I defer any comment to my order.
What were they asking for? They were asking for a 20% increase, and you gave them 10%. They were asking for roughly about 20% increase?
It's hard to tell what their original request was, but I think it was above 20%. And then they had some proposals to defer the implementation of another rate component. So yes, I think it was above 20%.
Isn't this becoming a pretty obvious pattern? Every time they ask for a rate increase, they ask for 20, you give them 10. They ask for 50, you give them 25. They ask for 10, you give them 5. It's kind of a noticeable
I think that's
pattern.
your interpretation. The bottom line is, have you read the statutory sections that govern our conduct that require us to take a look at certain things and provide certain evidence in a record? I mean, there's a significant body of law in our statutes and our regulations given to us by the legislature that require us to do certain things. This is not a lot of this stuff is not within our discretion. I would invite you to take a look at those two sections, NRS 703 and 704. Take a look at our order, and I'd be glad to have a conversation with you afterwards.
Thank you.
You bet.
It just seems to me personally ridiculous. And I've been living in the city for 9.5 years. I've seen my rates double in 9.5 years.
Mm-hmm.
We have no choice. It's a monopoly. And you are supposed to regulate them. I don't know. It just doesn't seem fair to the citizens of this community. It seems like you guys made a decision behind closed doors with Nevada Energy before you even walked in here today.
Sir, we had 3 weeks of hearings, several thousand pages of transcript, numerous witnesses, cross-examined by several.
A question was asked earlier about how much the president of NV Energy gets paid. Do you know the answer to that? Roughly.
I think it's broken down between base pay and stock and stick payments. I can't do you a quick calculation right now.
I'm all for their employees making a decent living, but how much do the executives need to make? How much do the shareholders need to make?